Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're gonna paint a Burbot pattern on this holographic gold and we're starting right now. Alright, so I already went ahead and put my holographic golden glitter base on there. And before I put the glitter on, I put some random dark spots with some Wicked Detail sepia on there, so that we get a little bit of a texture underneath that gold glitter as well. Now I'm gonna do the belly first with some opaque white. Now I take a piece of cloth and that is just to wipe off all the overspray on the body. A little overspray is okay, but this is a little too much. So I want to bring that glitter back. Like so, we got a white belly. You can actually do a little bit more of the edge, because the Burbot's belly is quite round, so the white comes a little bit up. Right, I'm gonna take this stencil. This is an art tool texture stencil. This is the outside of the stencil, so you can actually cut the inside out, so you can use this as an edge. And some Burbots have this kind of brown lining underneath that's a little darker, so we're gonna dust some brown on there. This is Wicked Detail sepia I got in my chamber, and I'm not gonna place the stencil against my lure. I'm gonna keep a little distance, and that's gonna create a blurred line effect. So I'm not creating those sharp edges like I usually would. Now I create them a little softer. Those lines are a little softer, so it's a little bit more subtle. And you can create that by just keeping a distance between your stencil and your object. Nice subtle lining from the white to the gold. Now we're gonna darken the back a little bit with just some random spots. And I also got some paint left in my chamber, so it's still Wicked Detail sepia, and I'm gonna shade my gill plates just a little, just to create some definition in there, so I get some better visual on the gill plates where they should be at the end. Now we're gonna have to do this again later, but this way we already can see better where the gill plates will be. Alright, now I got this texture stencil from Art Tools again, and you can use whatever stencil you want for dots or a modeled effect. It's just that we're gonna cover the entire body, both sides and the top, and a little bit across the belly as well, with a modeled effect. And we're gonna do this with a black magenta. So I got Wicked Detail black magenta in my chamber, and that's gonna be for the dots on the body. Alright, so we got our base done. Now it's time for the Burbot lining. You can do this freehand as well, but I like to use a stencil. This is a stencil from Lure Blanks. It just goes way faster and you have more control. I'm gonna tape this on there, and we're only gonna do the lining behind the gill plate. Now the key is, if you want some realism in there, you're gonna do it irregular. You're not gonna just full blast that Wicked Detail black magenta on there. You're just gonna subtly color every line, and it's gonna be uneven. So it's gonna be a little darker on the top and a little lighter in the middle, maybe a little, oh yeah, and at the end always fade it out, so not too much paint on the underside of the body. The upper side can be a little darker. Now we're gonna do the head, and I'm gonna use a different stencil from Lure Blanks, which is this detail stencil. And I'm just gonna slightly dust on some Wicked Detail Black Magenta on the head. You don't want it too heavy on there, just subtle and light. Now we still got Black Magenta in our chamber. We're gonna darken those gill plates again a little bit. Alright, so now I got some Wicked White in my chamber, and we're gonna bring that white behind the gill plates a little bit back. So I over reduced it so it's a little bit more transparent, it's a little softer, and we're just gonna slightly put some layers of white on there on the back of the gill plates. Just like that, just a little bit. Right, now it's time to do the fins, and then we're done. Now I got these Fantasy Fins stencil from Lure Blanks, and I actually got two to make it just a little easier for me and a little quicker. So I'm gonna take my piece of masking tape again. I'm gonna align my stencil where I want it to be. Now I got my opaque white in my chamber. Right, so now I got detailed black magenta back in my chamber, and now we're gonna do the fin beams, and we're also gonna darken the entire fin. But we're gonna do this irregular, and we're gonna do it kinda blotchy, because we want to create some structure in there. And now for the pattern in those fins, we're gonna use the same stencil as we used for the head. And I mixed up some wicked opaque bismuth yellow vanadate with a little bit of detail sepia just to tone it down a little, so it's not that really bright yellow as you can see here, but that's gonna cover really well on that black, and we're gonna use that stencil to get that nice yellow pattern in there. And we're gonna slowly layer those colors on there. So as you can see, I got my darkened yellow here. Okay, I see. My wicked opaque covers too well, and that's why I lost the fin beams. I was hoping they would shine underneath, but then I need more transparent paint for that. Right, so now I got detail sepia in my chamber, wicked detail sepia, and I'm gonna bring back those fin beams a little bit more on top of that yellow we just sprayed on, because it is too opaque. Maybe it would have been better with a transparent, but there's no problem at all. We can save this. It's gonna be nice. Now I took some over-reduced Vallejo dead white in my chamber, and with over-reduced I mean it is like water. I used more reducer than paint. And that is just to lighten up that little front of the fin to make it all connect onto the body. As you can see, that starts to look really good. Alright, and then for the eyes, the finishing touch on our lure, I'm gonna use these natural glass bead eyes from Lure Blanks. These will just fit perfectly on there. There we go, guys. Ready for epoxy. Right guys, the lure is finished, and as you can see, the detail on this lure is amazing. It's unfortunate the camera doesn't pick up everything because some details are really small, but those fins, they turn out really great. Those are probably the most beautiful fins I have ever painted until now. So yeah, this lure is amazing. I'm really proud of this one. As always guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I will leave a link in the description of this video to all the materials that I used for this lure. And don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!